Guys. I want to take a moment and share my story with you. So I experienced a very chaotic childhood. I was often frightened, angered, and discouraged as I grew up. Moving around so much also made me feel very alone. I would look for security and happiness in my hobbies, music, and very harmful coping mechanisms. My life revolved around the chaos and loneliness I was surrounded with and trying to cope with it. I had a lack of peace, and my sinful habits and hobbies didn't really help. They just distracted me from deeper issues. I felt very alone and angry. Trying to run to my fantasies detached me from reality, and I found myself less able to cope with the growing pressures and pains of life. I became very bitter towards people and often judged and condemned them. I started to really wonder if this was all life had in store for me, ever increasing darkness. I first sensed my need for Jesus around the age of 12 as I started asking deeper questions about the direction of my life. I decided to read the Bible and I ended up reading the whole thing. Though I'd heard pieces of it, much of what I read I encountered for the first time. I found a lot of messy people with really messy lives. I was shocked at some of the things I found. I finally got to Jesus. He lived life with all of these messy people, and yet he himself was not messy. What made me most interested in Jesus was the fact that he willingly sacrificed himself, dying a torturous death in a Roman crucifixion, though he was not guilty of any crime. And then he was raised to life again and told all his followers that they would experience the same resurrection, not only after death, but even spiritually today, right now. I never heard of anything like it, filled with so much hope, joy, life, and promise. And he was inviting me, of all people, to get to experience it with him. I finally decided to trust Jesus and follow him when I realized that my life as it stood was rolling downhill, getting darker every day. He offered an ever-increasing joyful life, if I would only trust him and his love for me. I told Jesus that I needed the life he had to give me. I wanted his spirit to help guide me every day. I wanted to have a relationship with God. Since I entered into a relationship with Jesus, I've changed from angry to forgiving. I've changed from lonely to satisfied. How does Jesus help me in my daily life? Well, he teaches me how to forgive, how to be content, how to serve others, and how to love him. My whole life revolves around Jesus and the love he has for me now. I live my life daily trying to love people the way God loves me through his son Jesus, and I seek to show that love by my words, actions, and by telling the story of what Jesus has done for us. I know that I have a hope and a future beyond this life because of Jesus, and I'm driven to serve God since he has far more planned for me than I could imagine. And what are some ways that I've seen God work in my life? Well, I've seen God answer my prayers in big and small ways. When I was about 14, my life was at an all-time low, and I was very self-destructive, trying to run away from home twice. I didn't even ask God for help at that time, and I was actually kind of angry at him. At that time, I didn't feel that he cared for my problems, but during that season, he gave me some powerful dreams that led me back to him and to his love. I've also seen him answer some small requests, things that might seem insignificant. Like one time when I knew there was a delicious pasta in our school cafeteria, but I couldn't get it because I was at work. I didn't even ask God for the pasta, but he knew I wanted it, and he had one of my friends out of nowhere, without even asking me, bring me a whole plate of it. That day I was reminded that God deeply cares for our lives, the big things and the small things the same. That's my story. God changed me from angry to forgiving. He changed me from lonely to satisfied.